Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. Thank you, as always, for joining us. As the resistance sputters, that's the focus of tonight's angle. All right, quick, someone, please do a welfare check on AOC.
They're going to go after legal status. They're going to go after people who are presently documented. They're going to try to make them undocumented and deport them too. They're going after people who are documented, period. They're going after immigrants.
Poor dear. Bless her heart. Perhaps we can get a GoFundMe, I don't know, to help her get through, endure the first 100 days of Trump. Because who knew that preserving American sovereignty, enforcing the border, and ending the abuse of humanitarian parole could drive people so mad? Now, desperate to gain some traction, any traction against Trump, the left is falling back into an old, unhealthy pattern and creaky talking points.
This idea of mass deportations, of ICE agents sweeping through communities, through churches and schools, and taking people who might be here legally, separating families, that's not going to help. And what's not going to help, it's not going to help reduce food prices. It's not going to help increase national security.
Now they're worried about food prices, the Democrats? Where were they the last 4 years? Now, of course, in the age of Trump 2.0, the media are trying to find their footing. And now it's fear-mongering about whether Trump will arrest priests and nuns.
There's a lot of Catholic churches, there's a lot of evangelical churches that are assisting and helping people who are illegal immigrants around the country. And the question is, does the federal government go in there and try to force those? And are you going to arrest priests and nuns for simply doing what the Bible tells them that they should be doing?
Whoa. I mean, Evan's a pretty good reporter, I think. But did he say, express outrage about for them doing what the Bible tells them to do, priests and nuns? Well, does he mean like when pro-life protesters are arrested and thrown in jail for praying outside an abortion clinic, the right to life, sacred in the Bible? Well, where was CNN's concern then? Look, the bottom line is, other than John Fetterman, few in the Democrat Party and almost no one in the Trump-hating media seem to have learned anything after November 5th. Americans do not and have never supported open borders. They have never supported millions of migrants milking the system and making fake asylum claims. And after Biden's border catastrophe, Americans moved even further to the right on the issue. Now, according to this new Ipsos survey, 66% of Americans support deporting illegal aliens. Now, there's less consensus on the methods as to how to deport them, but the general view is still overwhelmingly supportive of deportation. Thus, all the resistance is left with are feeble attempts to frighten you into believing that your views are hateful and wrong. But Trump's team, they're impervious to this. Now, one of its executive orders may trigger federal investigations of sanctuary jurisdictions, including Denver, Colorado.
When he lifts prohibitions on being able to conduct ICE raids at schools or hospitals or churches, we assume he's doing that for a reason. So we'll challenge it in court, and we'll try to get injunctions to stop those practices. We think there are plenty of reasonable, common sense ways to go about enforcing the removal of violent criminals, and we can support and collaborate on that.
Okay. Oh, thank you. You're helping us with the violent criminals now? Well, of course, these blue state mayors have helped fuel the migrant gang activity by continuing with their sanctuary madness in the first place. 42,000 illegals arrived in Denver just in 2023. Now, many of whom were then moved into motels in nearby Aurora. Remember all that video of all the gang activity there? So naturally, the gangs and the crime exploded. Thanks, Mayor Johnston. We appreciate that. And Tren de Aragua appreciates you as well. Now, voters in Colorado and other Democrat states, you're going to have to decide who's really looking out for you. The pro-illegal immigrant Democrat leaders that you've elected or President Trump? Because right now, political leaders in Colorado and Illinois, California, Massachusetts, and across the country are trying to make the poor migrant worker and honor roll migrant student, they're always honor roll students, the faces of the new resistance. As a matter of political common sense, I think it's absolutely idiotic. Now talk about not knowing how to read the room after this election. Meanwhile, in the SoCal town of Huntington Beach, the local government there just voted unanimously, this is good, not to be a sanctuary city.
The message is Huntington Beach comes first. Our primary function is to keep this city safe, and if it's to assist ICE in effecting what their job is, we should be able to assist in any way possible.
Now that's Surfing USA. That's what I'm talking about. And this isn't the only evidence of, I think, his comments about we can't do this, to the fact that the other side is just not getting it. They are flailing in the resistance. Now, we all know that Elon Musk is excited about the Trump agenda and that he's prone to sudden, wild gesticulation. It's kind of funny. And that is what the grasping, gasping resistance grabs onto.
This looks very much like a Nazi salute, no matter how they're trying to clean it up.
He should be condemned for those kinds of actions. So gross, disgusting.
Over and over last night, white supremacist groups and neo-Nazi groups in this country rallied around that visual. Does it concern you that those elements of the neo-Nazi and white supremacist element in the United States believe that what they saw last night was a neo-Nazi salute?
What concerns me is these are the questions you believe are most important to ask to the UN ambassador.
Yeah, it is desperate. Desperate from Senator Murphy, and good for Elise Stefanik. It's really just another sign that we've won and they're out of ideas. And that includes the Euro elites at Davos.
Tonight we saw Elon Musk raising his hand at the festivities when the new president was inaugurated. What is your comment to that?
We have the freedom of speech in Europe and in Germany. Everyone can say what he wants, even if he is a billionaire. And what we do not accept is if this is supporting extreme right positions.
Well, look, Davos, what are you going to expect about? Look at what Germany has done to its country, reeling from migrant crime. It's a mess. And as far as Elon Musk is concerned, I'd say welcome to the club, because they did the same to me years ago. Of course, none of them really know what the Nazi Party is or was. It was the National Socialist Party. And that they were certainly not rabid defenders of free speech like we are. And they apparently are fine with their friends who make similar gestures. No problem at all. So transparent and so desperate. But Trump's victory has driven them all bonkers. One Danish politician is spitting mad.
Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, off.
At Trump. Oh, here and around the world, the globalist resistance is struggling for oxygen, and apparently him for clicks. So will they resurrect their power base? It's a big power base, still not deflated, totally defeated. Well, so far it's not looking good. And certainly they won't resurrect their old preeminence if Trump and common sense Americans keep doing what's right. And that is the angle.
Trump's already made himself comfortable in the Oval Office. He's back to giving tours, and JD got the first one.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Yes.
Margo?
Oh, hey, Margo.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Wow. This is J.D. Vance's first time to step into the Oval Office. Wow. It's incredible. This is incredible.
Trump reflecting on the magnitude of the moment. Listen.
Let's talk about the moment you walked back in this office, this desk, this room, your carpet. How'd you feel?
Well, it was a lot of work. And as you know, I felt that we shouldn't have had to necessarily be here. Could have been done. A lot of work could have been, it would have been over. We wouldn't have inflation. We wouldn't have had the Afghanistan disaster. We wouldn't have October 7th with Israel, where so many people were killed. And you wouldn't have a Ukraine war going on. But with all that being said, I think it's bigger. It's bigger than if it were more traditional.
Only the second time in history somebody didn't have consecutive terms.
Yeah. Well, they say it's historically bigger. I don't know about that. But I can say it showed us a couple of things. It showed us that the radical left, their philosophies and policies are horrible.
And you can catch more of 47's first Oval Office interview with Sean at 9. Trump also released the letter that Biden left him in the Resolute desk. Biden's little love letter to the dictator, wishing him all the best in the next 4 years. May God bless you and guide you. He called him Hitler, tried to throw him in prison, and now he's like, Dear Don, all the best. Your friend Joey. What a phony. Trump's cleaning house. We're starting with a clean slate. And just like when you break up with somebody, you throw all the photos in the trash. All the lazy bureaucrats are being put back to work, 9 to 5s, 5 days a week, and in person, just like the rest of us. Imagine that. And it's leaving some bureaucrats anxious about having to go in, worried about not having a parking spot and having to sit cross-legged on the floors because their desks were downsized. And Trump put out an executive order. It's Indian style again. And if you're going back to work and you refuse, Trump says you're fired. Over at the Justice Department, agents are getting handed pink slips and being told to pack up. All the career attorneys who've been there forever are getting canned. This has never happened before. Trump just fired 4 top immigration court officials, including the chief. Oh, yeah, DEI is officially dead. As of 5 this afternoon, every federal DEI office in the country got shuttered. DEI employees woke up this morning and found out their emails are suspended and they've been put on leave. And if any of them try to sneak back in and do undercover DEI, Trump's having his people blow the whistle. Oh, and no more rainbow flags flying over government buildings either. Trump's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, ordering a one flag policy at all U.S. embassies across the world. Bye-bye, DEI.
Sir, this is about reforming the system of hiring in the federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring decisions
as per the Supreme Court.
Other matters. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, this is a big deal. Merit. Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
Trump wants people hired based on merit, not skin color or sexual orientation. This taxpayer-funded poison is being eliminated, and it's saving us billions in costs, productivity, and lawsuits. Joe Biden's paid flacks are now back on their heels. After bullying you for 4 years, they've found themselves on the wrong side of history.
Do you think there should be more than 2 genders in America?
Yeah, I don't know what that executive order means. I don't know what the president declared.
It means there are 2 genders, male and female. Would you disagree with that?
How many genders are there, Harry?
Yeah,
come on, little guy. How many genders are there?
Again, these guys don't know what they're talking about, so they won't be able to answer.
Harry, how many genders are there?
How many genders are there, Harry?
How many genders are there?
What's the legal? I'm gonna use Joe Biden's answers. At least 2. At least 2. That satisfies.
Well, how many more other than male, female?
That's a TikTok answer.
No, there's at least 2.
Yeah.
There's at least 2.
Well, no, hang on. There's male and female.
It's like human brain
Donald
rot.
Trump says there's male and female. There are 2.
Okay, Dave.
How many
Russian
more
Rubin,
are there after male and female, Harry?
There's at least 2. Now, anyway, let me get back to
what
what
How many more
are there?
What are the other ones?
There's at least 2.
What are the other ones?
Harry, let's try it this way. You're a female. What is the other gender?
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Tomorrow won't be a very happy DEI Thursday. But some dead-enders are picking up the Reverend's bullhorn and still trying to resist. Let's check in on Tim Walz's home state of Minnesota.
Whose house is this? Whose house is this? You chicken meatball-headed mother. Whose house is this? You listen to us, mother. You work for us. You can get
to respect my personal space.
You can have someone
You're
drag me out,
defying
and
that
then it's gonna
just
be
as you
on
have defied
in the
multiple
news.
laws.
In case you're wondering, his or her shirt says transsexual menace. We didn't think taking tampons out of the men's room would create such a stir, but here we are. The ladies of The View said, oh yeah, we're not DEI hires, Trump is.
Donald Trump saying things that this country would be a meritocracy. You're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit. He hasn't he had no political experience whatsoever. He had no business experience. He was given everything that he has. He is a legacy hire. He is, if anything, a DEI hire, a didn't earn it hire.
Only on The View is Kamala Harris, who never got a single primary vote, not a DEI hire, but Trump is. Trump campaigned hard. He survived 2 assassination attempts, beat 2 impeachments, 4 court cases, and received more votes than any other human being in American history. He earned it. But Democrats are looking for a new avenger, and they found one in a church. The woke bishop that scolded the new president yesterday on day 2 is getting wined and dined by the media. She's like Maddow, but they're treating her like she's a whistleblower. And now she's on a media tour. She went to CNN and The View.
I was looking at the president because I was speaking directly to him. I felt that he has this moment now where he feels charged and empowered to do what he feels called to do. And I wanted to say, you know, there is room for mercy.
Do you think your message is being misconstrued and politicized?
Oh, well, sure. Yeah. But I think if you read what I said, and I mean, how could it not be politicized, right? We're in a hyper-political climate. That's part of the air we breathe now. And I was trying to speak a truth that I felt needed to be said.
She's lucky this didn't happen on day 1 when Trump was a dictator, because he'd lock her up. This wacky bishop demanded Trump show mercy to the Biden migrants who are breaking our laws and the cross-dressers who are in the ladies' locker rooms. She says they're scared and Trump should show more compassion.
I was there with President Trump, and everybody there was shocked and mortified by the disturbing comments from this bishop who chose to weaponize the pulpit. She had an opportunity to pray over the president and the vice president and their families who were sitting in the first pews. And she spoke about truth, which was very ironic because words later she spewed lies.
Would the bishop show mercy if someone showed up to her church service, cut the line at communion, guzzled the blood of Christ, flipped over the body of Christ, and then snatched all the cash from the offering plate? We can have compassion, but not at the expense of civilization. The silly bishop's mercy is what's wreaking havoc on our borders and our inner cities and in the ladies' rooms. Democrat mercy let thousands of killers into this country. Their mercy got Laken Riley raped and slaughtered. Democrats had mercy on anarchists who firebombed federal buildings in Portland, showed mercy to BLM after they ransacked and firebombed cities. They showed no mercy to the police when they voted to defund them. But Democrats want to put a guy in jail for 20 years for punching a cop at a rally that got out of control on Jan 6th. Trump said these guys were overcharged, showed some mercy, and said, F it, release them all. That's actually a quote. So when the media isn't defending DEI, they're defending the Jan 6 charges. Watch.
Do you agree with President Trump's decision to pardon these violent people and releasing them from jail?
If they were truly violent, no. But do I know that they were? I don't know that.
What do you mean you don't know that? We're showing the footage on the air right now. This is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes. Yeah. This is CNN. This is the news. We are asking you to come on and tell the truth.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim. You all continue this narrative attacking Trump. You just can't stand the fact that he won and that America spoke.
Congressman,
and that,
no,
and that your view is very diminished.
That's not the case at all.
And your view is very diminished.
We want to be accurate here. CNN's not only losing to cartoons, they're losing to a baking show and RuPaul's Drag Race. And for the record, we don't think you should be able to punch a cop in the face and get away with it. But 20 years is a long time for punching a cop in the face. And these guys got squeezed into pleas. Biden just pardoned his whole family and a guy who shot 2 FBI agents in cold blood. Republican Senator Kevin Cramer says this: do 2 wrongs make a right? No. But 2 wrongs can at least get us to a fresh start. And Trump just wiped the slate clean by ending DEI and pardoning the Jan 6ers. It's a fresh start for the whole country. And now everyone's even, right? Well, we'll see.
So Donald Trump won the Electoral College, all the swing states, and the popular vote, as virtually every state in the nation shifted significantly to the right. So one may wonder, what do the Dems have left? Well, they'll always have Hitler.
What do you think of Elon Musk, perhaps the president's most visible advisor, doing 2 Heil Hitler salutes last night at the president's televised rally?
No, Elon Musk did not do those salutes.
I think that your work and the administration's work on anti-Semitism only comes with real impact and credibility if it holds both right and left accountable. And credibility comes with calling anti-Semitism and anti-Semitism behavior out when it comes from both the right and the left.
And that guy's a senator from Connecticut. Who knew a liquid mixture used to clean your vagina could run for office? I mean, what a douche. And so these bozos are still doubling down on demented, building on the whole Trump is Hitler theme that helped them lose 2, maybe 3 elections. I mean, of all the strategies they decide to hold on to after such a humiliating defeat, it's this one? So here's her latest hoax. Elon gave a Nazi salute at the Trump inauguration.
There are elections that come and go. Some elections are, important, some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
OMG, he raised his arm in the air. And so, in unison, the media jumped all over this like Kevin Spacey on a boy band. Here's just a few of the outlets who got the memo. Musk offers a Nazi-like salute. Sure looked like a Zig Heil to me. It's day 2, and they've already showed us who they are. Now, of course, this BS no longer registers. Like Joy Behar's Guide to Personal Hygiene, no one's buying it. So why are they still doing it? Well, they've lost so much credibility that it's easier for them to lose it all than it is to earn it back. It's like when you get lost hiking. Do you go back the way you came, or do you eat your spouse? It's a good question. Or imagine you have a really fat friend who should go on a diet. The problem is he's on death row. So really, what's the point in cutting calories? That's the media. They're dead men walking, or in this case, dead man walking to the unemployment line. Now, you may think that it's the fringe that's pushing this. Nope, it's the whole crazy core. PBS, AKA Please Be Stupid, claims that Musk's salute appeared similar to Zig Heil. Did you notice the restraint in that? They didn't say it was a fascist salute. They said it appeared similar. That's how the left plays fair. We won't call you Hitler. We'll just say you remind us a lot of Hitler. No wonder their ratings are lower than Jerry Nadler's balls. Now, since then, the very liberal Anti-Defamation League said it's not a Nazi salute. And that's when AOC slammed the Jewish outfit, claiming they work for Nazis. Now, this is a good time to remember AOC is in government because she couldn't hack it as a bartender. Apparently, when people ordered a Negroni, she called them racist. But I guess she forgot this was her a few years ago at a rally of her own.
And we will not relent to that. We will not bow down to that. We will keep fighting for a better future.
Well, if Musk is Hitler, I guess that makes her Eva Braun. But there are so many Hitlers on the left. I mean, there's Liz, there's Hillary, there's Kamala, there's Barack. I mean, the upside with all these Nazi salutes is their staff use the opportunity to spray them with deodorant. And so many Dems wonder, why is everybody leaving their party? Well, here's your answer. How can you even relax around a liberal if they're going to link your body language to everything? You say, hey, I like to play fetch with my dog. They say, you know who else liked to do that? Hitler. Hey, would you check out my new Harley? And they'll say, you know, Mussolini loved motorbikes. You say, it's really cold. Can you spare a blanket? And they say, okay, Gaddafi. Speaking of okay, remember how they claimed the okay sign was a fascist symbol? Or that a garage door handle was a noose and a stray banana peel was racist? Their filter for interpreting life is so narrow, so joyless and vindictive that everything is potentially evil, which makes them worth avoiding at all costs. At some point, those remaining Democrats need to ask themselves a question. And it's not why so many blacks, whites, Hispanics, and young people have fled their party, or even why your most successful Democrats have left the party as well. It's why you're still where you are. Could it be that, like all sinking ships, you're the rats that really have nowhere else to go? No one wants you because you're so miserable. Maybe everyone isn't flocking to Trump. They're just running from you. And for that, we salute you. Let's welcome tonight's guest. You can trace me back to his hotel room tonight. Fox News at Night anchor Trace Gallagher. He stopped working cruise ships after too many people jumped overboard. Actor, writer, comedian Jamie Lissow. She's been talking about maternity for what feels like an eternity. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, tattoo. And he's a lot like needlepoint. Old ladies want to do him on the couch. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former heavyweight world champion. I'm with it. Trace, you're my favorite hard news guy.
Thank you, Greg.
Because you make the news hard. All right. Why is the media repeating the same mistake that they made before the election? Is it deliberate? Is it stupid? Is it like a drug to them?
It's almost like they miss saying Hitler so much that they've got to kind of get back on board, right? They just can't get away from it. So if they can't say Hitler, they got to kind of get to the next step, which is calling Elon Musk, saying he did a Hitler salute, a Nazi salute. The truth is, it's going so far that there's even word now the NFL is making punt returners when they do the fair catch sign. 15-yard penalty, you're thrown out of the game. And then when you go to the sideline, you can't have Gatorade. You've got to eat gefilte fish.
That's disgusting.
Which I think is bad. Elon Musk did not even come close to doing a Nazi sign. He said, I love you. And every time they play this, they turn the sound down. He said, I love you. And he was saying, I love you. You pointed out, everybody has done this.
Yes.
The athletes do it all the time.
Superman.
Every time they do some Superman.
When Superman's flying, if he ever puts his arms down, he dies.
Crazy, yeah.
And he's real. Jamie, as a Nazi, are you offended? Are you offended when non-Nazis steal your thunder through false accusations? You've worked very hard in the Aryan Brotherhood.
This is a bit of a challenging question, Greg. We know the left is grasping at straws, and Biden needs those straws to eat his meals. That's the problem, is what you said, Trace. Like, you have to take the context of it. Like, obviously, I think he's really excited. Remember, he was jumping up and down? I think Elon's just sort of an excitable guy that maybe does some wacky things sometimes because he's excited. He said, my heart goes out to you or something before this, which I don't speak German, but I don't think that's what Hitler was yelling.
No.
Right? When he was yelling that stuff. And, like, I just feel like there's you need the words. Like, look at the difference between, like, Hail Hitler and, like, taxi.
Yeah.
Right? Hail taxi is very different than Hail Hitler, right?
That is true.
I say leave Elon alone. Elon's like a kid in a candy store that knows exactly how many pieces of candy are in it.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly. Yeah, when he's in front of crowds, you never know what's going to happen, Kat. What do you think is behind this? Are they, like Jamie says, pretty much out of straws to grasp?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. And I think that also once one person says it, they feel like you have to say it too, or else then you are also a Nazi. So it's like a weird telephone game.
Yeah.
But the ADL, I mean, for the ADL to come out and say that, if you follow the ADL, it wasn't that long ago that Elon was, I believe, threatening to sue them.
Exactly.
Because they were accusing him, suggesting that he was anti-Semitic for not doing enough to combat anti-Semitism on, I think it was still even called Twitter then. And if they're like, no, so now you're going after them, it's like this just makes no sense. He got too excited. And also, he said that, no, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
So if he was going to be so bold as to go out in front of this crowd and do a Nazi salute, I feel like you would also be so bold as to say that that's what you did.
Exactly. Why would you deny it?
Yeah, well, what, you not, like, you're the richest man in the world.
Yes, if anybody's going to be a Nazi. I mean, he has Nazi FU money.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He could literally go bury up Hitler's dead body, take his arm off, and do it with him. Because that's how much money he has.
Does it bother you that we're actually even talking about this?
No, it bothers me that everyone is just too much in love with Elon. Listen, he's a genius, and he has a lot of money, but he's not athletic. Can we just, you can't have it all. He was trying to have a Wolf of Wall Street moment, but he has zero rhythm. He jumped when he should have stopped. He's embarrassed. He looked like a goose who thought he could fly, but his mom was like, you're not quite ready yet. And that's what he was doing. He was so excited. Yeah. He's not used to being in front of crowds unless he can fire them. So this is new for him. But the serious side is, Greg, you have to stop making excuses. This is who they are. If you are a racist person and you are been giving the opportunity to show yourself every day, you're not going to change. If a man is going to not be if a man abuses his wife and his kids and they tell him, hey, you're not going to go to jail anymore, you're not going to lose your job anymore, he no longer will have good moments. Every time someone says something he likes, he's going to hit him. He's going to call him a name because it has been their bosses. I guarantee you they got 2 thumbs up or 2 hails when they came through the thing because this is who they are. They're not going to change. This is who they've always been, but they've used President Trump and that narrative to show who they are. So be wary because this is who they are.
This is who they are. Tonight at 9. All right. Up next, he stayed silent in the pew, then gave her a bad review.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.